One of the reasons I want to spend so much time talking about people development and our futures, our careers, and how that all connects is, let's face it, let's be honest with ourselves that whatever world we grew up in, we have this stuff circling around our brain. We put ourselves in situations and we define what things are, and many times they're wrong. Many times we're off because we're living in our own heads based on stuff that happened in our childhood. And at 57 years old, I'm still realizing things that were in my head that had nothing to do with anybody else around me, what they were thinking, what I thought they were thinking, what they're saying, what they're not saying. I just like I diagnose, right? You can just like go on the internet and you got a pain in your back and all of a sudden you got cancer, because you read it on the internet. And so you're self-diagnosing yourself, where you're thinking about, certain things. And granted, some things you do know, some things you're accurate with. But a lot of times those things that circle and spin in our heads when we show up at work and we in groups and meeting and working together with people, and people have different personalities and things that remind you of someone in your family, and you can go to that place where you're just stuck and you have defined the situation, like you fixated on something and you're probably wrong, but you will operate with that thing in your head and be completely off, and sometimes circumvent your opportunities, circumvent some goodness that was going to happen in your life or the situation you were in. So that development of self is so important, because at the end of the day, someone said, Henry, you're the brand. Like, you are the brand. Like, it's not what you say, it's you. And it took me a minute to like digest that and understand it. And I think about that and put that on others. Now say it's you. Like, you are the person that owns this. And maybe it's not the brand you want, but you're owning it. And it's showing up before you even get in the room, because maybe others have recognized something about you that maybe they don't want to be around. And you don't know when you spend more time finger pointing, blaming, and living in that place in your head. And sometimes it's hard for us to break out of it, especially on our own. And so sometimes when we talk about personal development, professional development, we can associate it with some negativity and all this stuff doesn't matter for me. It's about the job, it's about the work. And it absolutely is about the work. But investing in yourself, whether it's you choose to go and get some help, not because you're crazy, not because you can't keep a job, but because you want to go to the next level. And sometimes we don't go to the next level on our own until we are made aware of things that we finally believe and accept, and then want to do something with it. Because sometimes the hardest part is just discovering what the issue is. And we'll spend a lifetime trying to figure out, especially after we've bumped our heads on the same wall for years, for decades, and we get tired. Then we want to do something about it. And that's a great place to be. But I think what's so important is to recognize some of those folks like myself who've been through that. You want to help someone not have to take 50-something years to get to the point where you finally recognize some of your errors and how you've stepped on yourself along with other people in your life. We all have things that we can own, but at some point we have to wake up and not keep falling in the same pitfalls and traps. And wake up to ourselves and recognize that I want something better for my future. And the rest of my life starts now. It doesn't matter how old you are, but you're recognizing that you're making a shift. And that's what professional development, personal development is about. It's about making that shift and recognizing that you can do better because you want to, and you can change and transform your life, which will transform everything else around you, including your career. Thanks for listening.